Look. Pretty, isn't it? Perfectly balanced, as all things should be.
From the very beginning, the concept of the world and the local hero was based on an ascent from a metaphorical limbo through a cycle of rebirths. The idea is rather dark, and as we saw it, the environment should match this concept. That's why, together with a significant part of the team, we started manually assembling the environment, placing point light sources, adjusting their intensity, trying to tell something interesting about our world through the surroundings, arranging props, and attempting to bring some unique idea to each location. However, after creating several rooms by hand, it became clear that a small team like ours would not be able to produce the huge number of locations that a roguelike game needs in order to actually be, well, a roguelike. Each run is supposed to be different from the last, and all that. Manual work took too much time, and the results still look limited. The first step towards any kind of level generation was, if you can call it that, a combined approach. Do you remember that giant skeleton that could be seen through the floor of the hall with the collapsed floor? Well, we remembered it too, and we all liked it so much that we decided to focus our artistic talent on creating beautiful backgrounds, while moving the main gameplay to arenas located at a significant height. We liked the idea of assembling several dozen primitive arenas, separated by biomes with unique and beautiful backdrops, so we got to work. This time, our creativity was enough for a whole 4 biomes: crystal, mushroom, clockwork, and a cave with a skeleton. But after the first tests, it became clear. It was boring. A platform detached from the overall space and the portals didn't give a sense of a cohesive world. On top of that, players were getting lost. It wasn't clear what would happen when choosing one of several portals. Then we tried a system like in Slay the Spire or Curse of the Dead Gods, where the player chooses a path on the map. Each floor gives different rewards. We decided to turn to procedural generation. First, we decided to scatter the platforms we already had across the map and connect them with bridges, so that the world would look cohesive rather than just a collection of isolated arenas. But we immediately ran into new problems. The rooms didn't take their actual size into account and sometimes overlapped each other during generation. And to make sure the player wouldn't see this, we decided to delete the previous one when transitioning. However, this added extra requirements for the artists, because even with this workaround, the problem still occasionally occurred, and rooms had to be designed with this in mind. We tried making the bridges between arenas longer to hide the moment when rooms were disabled, but long bridges stretched transitions to 30 seconds, and that quickly became tedious. Players once again didn't understand where to go because navigation was unclear, so we introduced restrictions. All rooms were now generated within an abstract square, for example 20 by 20 units. This ensured that they wouldn't overlap with each other. The bridges became procedural. They could be any shape, but they always connected the exit of one room to the entrance of another. And to make sure the platforms didn't all look the same, they added randomized decorations. As a result, the map turned out cohesive, beautiful and large, but meaningless. The player would just run across the bridges, fight mobs, and the only reward was at the very end. Combined with the global map, the run to the boss could take over an hour. We went back to one of our original ideas, a platform with a beautiful backdrop. But now, instead of portals, we made manual transitions, huge gates, staircases, corridors. We pulled the camera back so the world wouldn't feel disconnected from its surroundings. We spread the rewards across the floors, instead of leaving them only at the end. And it worked. Navigation became clear, transitions were fast and stylish, and players finally saw where they needed to go. But something still happened.